Hey guys!
Hello everyone.
You're welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Yep, you're welcome, you're welcome.
Woo! And Happy New Year!
Yeah, Happy New Year. Woo! Welcome to 2021. It's good to see you. Yeah. So, my name is Deki Teaser.
And I'm Faith Teaser. And together we are the Teasers.
Yep. I've been on this road more than once in my life, searching for the one that I would truly love. Tired, so I made a call to God above. So He sent you my way. So today we're going to be talking about something interesting.
I knew he was going to say interesting.
Yeah, we always talk about interesting stuff. So we're going to talk about something interesting.
Yeah.
How to improve your relationship in this year.
Yeah.
In fact, not just this year, but how to improve your relationship generally. You see, everything that is left on its own will degenerate. You know, so including relationships, you must learn to improve it. There is a way to improve your relationship. There are things you need to do to make your relationship better.
Yeah.
And this year, we're intentional about helping you having the best kind of relationship, something you enjoy. As we often say, relationships are meant to be enjoyed.
Exactly.
So you shouldn't be in a relationship and suffer. You should be in a relationship and enjoy it and be happy. I mean, there's no need to be in one if you're not happy, if it takes away your joy.
Yeah.
So how can two of you, guy and lady, how can two of you, dating, married, dating, married, courting, how can you enjoy your relationship and get the best out of it?
Yeah, so one of the first things we'll talk about today, or the first thing we'll even talk about today, is be intentional, guys. Like, it's so important.
Yeah.
Be intentional. You know, many times negligence is a cause for degeneration. So, you know, when you just say, well, it's my, he understands, she understands, it's my guy, we're now guys. You know, before you know, things might start getting funny. So be intentional about the things that you do in this year. Be intentional about your interactions. What's the quality of time you spend together? Because it's not usually just about the quantity, but about the quality. So what comes out of the time you spend together, communicating, talking, you know, it's very important. Be intentional about it. Bring up conversations that are important for your relationship and important to create a bond. Be intentional about how you look, guys. Very, very important. Like, you cannot just be anyhow. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to be intentional about how you look. I was talking with my friend and she told me about her sister saying she had to make a decision to get herself something new every month because she works hard and then she usually spends it on other things, taking care of the family and all of that. And so she made up her mind that every month she'll get something for herself. So be intentional about how you look. And guys, be intentional about your personal care. Like, that one, you have to be very, very intentional about it this year. It's so important. You cannot, like how I always tell my husband, you cannot claim that you are from Uzbekistan. What's that word I used to say? And just be oozing everywhere. But basically, we're not saying you are oozing or something. But just take care of yourself is important. The same way you would appreciate your spouse or your partner to, you know, take care of themselves. Do same for them, and do same not just for them but for you, because you see, being intentional is usually fueled by having a sense of purpose. So when you know where you're going, when you have a goal in mind for your relationship, you will be intentional about it.
Yeah.
So be intentional about those things this year.
Yeah, just make the effort. It's not just those, they're not limited to those things, but just have a mindset to want to be intentional about improving your relationship.
Yes.
So what are the things I can do to make my relationship better? Even if I did some last year, even if this is who I am, how can I make it better, more appealing, you know, and more, you know, accommodating for my spouse? You know, another thing that you can do, you know, in this year 2021 and beyond, of course, to improve your relationship is to evaluate your relationship. Take time, make the effort to, as often as you can, evaluate your relationship. Like, take retrospect, sit down together and take retrospect about how far you're going or how far you have come. You know why that is important is because you may not know or may not realize that your relationship isn't improving as much. You guys are just okay, it can be better than where it is now.
Yeah.
And so when you take retrospect, you can make necessary adjustments. Okay, you can begin to identify the major things, the reoccurring problems in your relationship, the reoccurring successes. For instance, what is it that makes us so successful? What is it that makes us more exciting? One of the things that this has done for us as a couple is taking retrospect into our relationship has made us understand that some time spent apart has been some of the moments where our relationship, as in our intimacy for each other, hit the roof. For instance, recently I traveled. My wife traveled and then she came back. The feeling was, the feeling of love and care and concern was more because she was absent for a little while. So you know that okay, so this is healthy for our relationship. And guess what? By that alone, you can now become more intentional about the trips, about the things you do to make that even reoccur. And then if there are problems or challenges, you can now be more intentional to know how to avoid them from reoccurring. So taking retrospect, I've said this before in one of our videos, that even companies do it. They take time to look back in the year, look at the year past, to see how they progressed, take analysis of things. I'm not saying you should do data analysis, but just take into retrospect, think about it, talk about it. Oh, this year, this, that time we fought, this time we did this time we met where, those kinds of conversations. When you do that, it will help you improve your relationship. When you talk about them, when they want to occur in future, you will remember that we shouldn't do this because you have spoken about it. So,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very important. And you see, to help your relationship in this year and beyond, you need to plan to do more things together. I think for us last year in January, when we had one of our relationship reviews, we had the plan to do more together. And I think gift giving, I think we spoke about that, so we improved on it last year.
Yeah.
But you need to plan to do more things together. Go on dates, go on hikes. Now hiking is raining. Go on hikes. Like, pray together. Prayer together is very important. Do a lot of things together, because as you do a lot of things together, you're creating a bond for yourselves.
Yeah.
And so many times when you want to make reference to what happened before, that person is in the picture, and it makes you, those fond memories are remembered and they are heightened because you talk about them all the time. I remember for us, we talk about a lot of things together, and when you want to say, oh, do you remember when this thing happened, realize that, oh, he was even there, and then we gist about it. But we have taken time to do more things together, and it has helped our relationship very well. A lot in this last year. When we checked different places, since we're in a new town, kind of new, so we did a lot of things together. You can even just plan to do more video calls if you are apart. You can play games online together. There are different things to do, even if you are you're not in the same geographical location. But just plan to do more things together, because it creates a stronger bond. It makes your heart more fun when you think about memories spent with the person.
Yeah.
So it will help your relationship in this year. Do a lot together.
Yeah, and just, the simple things matter.
Yeah.
For instance, in this year or in this season or going forward, whenever you're watching this, just try to be more empathic. One thing I know that most human beings lack, they think they have it, is empathy.
Yeah.
That is how empathy is different from pity, from sympathy. Sympathy is when you see someone in a bad situation and you feel bad for them. Empathy is seeing someone in a situation, putting yourself in that situation, and you feel bad for them and yourself. So it's like understanding what they are going through. Sympathy say, this guy is suffering. Sorry. Empathy is, wow, how can I help? Because you can almost relate to the person's pain, and because you're in that position, you are compelled to want to do more. So this year, be more empathic, and you can learn to be, paying attention to your spouse will help you to be more empathic. You see, sometimes you just talk to yourself. I can be kinder than this. What does empathy do? It makes you to care and show concern and kindness to your spouse more.
Yeah.
And when people when people are around kind people, they appreciate them more.
Yeah,
listen, there's no human being that does not like kindness. Even the wicked want people to be kind to them.
Yeah, they want to be shown kindness.
They want to be shown kindness. There's nobody that does not feel they deserve kindness.
Yeah.
So in this year, if you try to be more empathic, your relationship will be better. Can I tell you something? Empathy helps you Empathy helps you to forgive more.
Yeah, that's true.
Empathy helps you to forgive more. Empathy helps you to be less malicious.
Yeah.
Empathy helps you to be more concerned. And concern improves your relationship, basically.
And to keep less grudges.
Yes, in the long run.
Yeah.
And so it will help improve your relationship.
Yeah, I think what you said is so important. When you said pity is different from empathy, and I think pity is just feeling sorry for somebody independently, like the person is on their own.
Yeah.
But empathy is taking the pain and putting yourself in that same situation.
Yeah.
So when you're more empathic, you make excuses for your partner.
Yeah.
You give room. You give more allowance. You can
Yeah.
understand where the person is coming from, and it will help you a long way. Because guys, like we've said before, the goal is to be happy in your relationship. Why be angry and be stiff?
That's true.
And even as you're empathic, you need to be more transparent in this year.
Yeah.
You see, transparency and being honest, builds and strengthens trust in your relationship. And trust is one of the most fundamental foundations of a strong and good relationship.
Yeah.
So for trust to be built and to be strengthened, if it has already been built, you need to be more transparent in this year. Communicate freely. Communicate openly. If something happens, feel free to tell your partner. Because you see, I've learned over time that it's better for you, even if you've done something wrong, it's better for you to tell your partner than for your partner to hear from somebody else.
That's true.
Because even when someone else wants to tell your partner something, because you've said it already, they're in a better position to handle it from an outsider.
Yeah.
They're in a better position to handle it when it comes externally. So be more transparent in this year. Communicate your desires. It is so important. There's no look, like Papa used to say, I went to Covenant University. He would say, you can't fake it for too long. So stop faking it and try to be you. Be transparent. Be open. Say, this is how I want this to be. This is what I've done. This is what you did or whatever. But be more transparent in this year. It will help you a long way. Trust will be built in your relationship if you are more transparent this year.
Yeah. Well, I didn't go to Covenant University, but yeah, I know what Papa said. I went to American University. So, but basically...
Wow, babe, just have to do that. How do you feel?
I didn't know why you...
This is not empathic.
It's done for you, hand here. So basically, yes. Another thing is, which is important, a lot of times we take it for granted, is, in fact, it doesn't show, it's not so obvious, but it's important to highlight your partner's strength.
Yeah.
You see those things that your partner knows how to do well. Some people fail to, you say, and person in order to do that, you just keep quiet. No, it's important to, if you can, as often as possible, let them know how much you appreciate that strong part of them, that strong ability they have. Remind them that they can. You see, as often as you remind them, let me tell you how human beings work. If you tell them that, oh, you are so good at this, for instance, as simple as compliments, oh, I like the way you dress. You have a very good dress sense. I'm telling you. You know what happens?
Thank you, baby.
Whenever the person... Yes, you have a very good dress sense. Whenever the person wants to dress up, they will always remember what you said and won't fall your hand. When you remind the person of how well, for instance, now, guys, as simple as saying, oh my God, you're an amazing cook. The woman will make extra effort, and now this for the married, of course, to cook. Imagine you're in a relationship, dating now, and the guy makes 1 or 2 efforts to listen. You tell him, you're a very good listener. As in, those things you notice, don't keep it to yourself and say, my boyfriend is good. You're just everybody. No, tell the person to highlight their strengths to them. It would do you more good. It would strengthen your relationship because person know you appreciate them.
Yeah.
But no more than that, it will also strengthen the strength.
Yeah.
It will make the person to continue to maintain that strength, and continue to do it. And guess what? The day the person starts to decline in that thing, if you say, Kai, you're not as strong as, you're not doing as good as you used to be. You're falling man. Guess what? There's this sense of human beings. We start to feel disappointed and want to, compensate for the less that we offered before.
Yeah.
And the person will improve. But if the person never knew they were that good, they can't even tell if it is less now or more. But if you tell them, they can tell, the way this person is not complimenting again is like, I've reduced in this. We're not saying you should put your partner in the position of being pressured to do more, but we're saying to encourage them to improve those things. And if you highlight their strengths, you would not notice their weaknesses. That's the thing I wanted to say. You won't notice their weeknesses as much. In fact, the strength will compensate for those places where they have flaws.
Yeah,
and it will help your relationship to drive.
Well done, baby.
Yeah, thank you.
You are such a good speaker, baby. You teach well.
That's what my son said.
Your fans funny. Okay, guys. So everyone needs to just be motivated, and compliments motivate a person in a relationship. So, and then in this year and beyond, make up your mind to let go of the past.
Yeah.
You see, many times when we counsel people, or when we speak to people, the person you met and you loved was not the person he or she was years from the time you met them. And so you get to know this person, and you guys are vibing, and I don't know all those slangs. And then you now hear about the person's past. You're in no position to judge the person based on his or her past. Her past is long gone. His past is long gone, especially as a believer. If God were to judge us based on our past, then none of us would be where we are today. Yeah. But you need to let go of your partner's past, because you're just going to be carrying unnecessary baggage. It's going to haunt you forever. The past was made known to you not for you to use it against them, but to accommodate them in the new person that they have become. Yeah. Just like the Bible says we are now new creatures. So see the person as a new creature that he or she is. Stop judging them based on their past. Stop looking at, many times when you're holding on to the person's past, if, for example, remember these people we counsel that the girl is so afraid that he's going to cheat on her, that he's a playboy, because that was who he was before. But the guy has been so good in their relationship, but she cannot seem to let go of the idea that he was a playboy before and he can do it again. Yeah. And you know what has happened? Their relationship has just been degenerating. It's from one problem to another, all because of trust issues. So in this season, you can pray about it. Pray about it and say, God, help me to let go of the past. And make conscious effort to let go of the person's past. Even if it is a past in your own relationship. Maybe one of you made a mistake. Let go of the past. It is so important. If you don't let go of the past, you will not move forward. So leave the past in the past and move forward. Like we said, be more empathic. My husband always says something. Many times people do certain things because they don't know how to do it better. If they knew better, they would have acted better. So give the allowance, give the benefit of doubt, make excuses for the person. We are not saying be in quotes stupid, or foolish. But then it is important for you to have progress and forward movement in view. If you have that in view, you'll be able to let go of the past, even if it's something that hurt you before. You can heal from it. It may take time, but you can heal from it. But you need to make conscious efforts, deliberate effort to actually heal, to actually let go of the past. It's very important. It will help your relationship a long, long way. We all, like someone says, everybody has his own thing that he's not so proud of. And so if you don't want to be judged by your past, don't judge another person on their past.
That's true. And then it's not just about the distant past. Now she said in your relationship.
Even in your relationship.
And if not even major things, just minor things. People argue and then you say, is that not that day you did this or this or that day? I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of relationships, have a lot of problems, because, last week you offended me. We have moved on, we have apologized, you have forgiven me. Now this week, I now did something wrong. You now behave like an African mother and say, that's how you are always behaving. Last week, that's how that time you went to Shola's house and you did this. So that's an example of how people destroy relationships. Because the person now starts feeling secure as if you did actually forgive them.
Yes.
And they keep feeling guilty for what they did. And then apart from that, it opens new wounds, because even you that is making reference to it, you won't let go in time, you won't forget, and then you will continue to treat the person based on what you are forgiving. So even as much as you can, don't bring it up in your conversations. But that, having said that, another important thing that you must, learn to do in this season is, not just this season, I keep saying this season, what you must learn to do to improve your relationship is to learn your partner's boundaries. I'll explain. Especially for those that are married, people say things like this: when you're married, there are no boundaries. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. Two of you are together, that's all right. You are two that have become one, that's true. But sometimes there are things your spouse does not like.
Yeah.
That you doing it is intruding into their boundary.
That's true.
There are certain boundaries people set, people still have. Now, when you get married, of course, you have opened yourself to crossing each other's boundaries.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that get on your spouse's nerves. Avoid them.
That's true.
I'm sure for those that are married or even dating for a while, you must have known or conversed, or the person must have complained about certain things you are doing they don't like.
That's true.
There are some people that don't necessarily like certain kinds of way you address them. Some spouse, the spouse can be humorous and the other not so humorous, and your spouse does not like some jokes you tell. When you keep stepping on their, that's an example of boundary. The person has told you, I don't like this kind of thing, don't address me this way, and you think it's a joke and you keep doing it. What you're doing is that you're offending the person, even if they love you so much. You are offending them. There are sometimes too, maybe you're like me, that sometimes I just want to sit down alone, because I do a lot of meditating on the word and study. I want to sit down alone and study my Bible and read. If I'm using myself as an example now, if you don't understand that boundary, where once I'm a pastor, so once in my room to pray and study, don't come and interrupt, don't come and disrupt. If you don't understand that, guess what will happen? You continue to get on my nerves till one day I'll just be like, so that's just an example. So yes, we're married. Yes, the house is ours. We're supposed to live together, enjoy ourselves together. But then we can now agree. You can actually take the step of agreeing and having an understanding. For instance, like my wife and I, okay, if I'm doing something like the example I gave, if I'm doing something like that, she will just come around and make it known to me. I will even have that conversation. Just mute. Just make it known to me that she needs my attention because it's important. And then I will stop. But you can't just come abruptly and just tell me, no. Because of what we do, your focus is so important. If you lose it, it takes some time to get it back. So things like that. That's just an example. 1 out of a billion. But if your spouse has said, I don't like this thing, or I like things like this, just respect them. Just respect it. Okay, it's fine. As simple as, I don't really like it when people keep their shoes here.
I don't like when I'm woken up abruptly.
Yeah. Those kinds of things, they are simple, but then there are those small things that get people angry. Sometimes your big fights are an accumulation of little frustration.
That's true.
Yeah.
Man of God. The only problem is wisdom. Please continue there.
I have to continue. So, basically, those little frustrations mount up to, lead to an outburst.
Yeah.
Outburst music group. But lead to an outburst, and then, it affects your relationship. So try as much as you can to limit those, to not cross boundaries.
Yeah, and even when those boundaries are crossed, it is important for you to talk about your feelings a lot. Talk about your emotions. Talk about how you feel. Are you happy? Are you sad? How do you feel at a particular time? Because one thing that we've learned is that though I have the Spirit of God, I may not know his thoughts or his feelings all the time. And he has the Spirit of God, but he doesn't know all my feelings and my thoughts all the time. So it is important for you to talk about your feelings. How do you feel at a particular time? What vibe, what mood are you in? Because it helps your relationship, like in the long run and even in the now. When you talk about how you feel, one of the things we do when we review our relationship is we talk about how we feel. How did each action make us feel? How did this situation make us feel? So we always, most of the time, right? Or always, we talk about how we feel at a certain time. And like he said, when he spoke about evaluating your relationship, we have been, because we have spoken a lot about our emotions and how we felt, we've been able to highlight the high points of our relationship and the low points of our relationship. So what we do in being intentional is we minimize those low points and strengthen and heighten those high points. So it's important for you to talk about how you feel, your emotions, your feelings, even if there are many times that I probably just want to just rant or just talk about something. At least he's there to listen to how I feel. So it's important.
Yeah, and two things essentially. In line with everything that's been said, you must, in this year or this, to improve your relationship, you must seek clarity at all times. It's never assume. If it means, even if, for instance, now, if I say something and you didn't hear me clearly, or you got the wrong, not even the wrong, you perceived or interpreted what I said and it hurt you, say it again to make sure that that's what the person said and that's what the person meant. So are you saying, yes, this may sound like simple things, but these are the reasons why people fight a lot. You assume, you're saying, the person did like this because he wants to hurt me. So assumption will bring destruction. Like, don't assume. Don't assume. You're poisoning your relationship when you make assumptions. Find out all the time. Be clear. Seek for clarity. We all seek for clarity. We want to know. And what she said about talking about your feelings a lot. Can I tell you something? It is important to continue to talk about how you feel about your spouse. I love you. You mean so much to me. Simple things like that. I care about you so much. You are the one for me. You are reassuring the person of the love you have for them.
Yeah.
As human beings, God does that to us all the time. That's why people are always giving testimonies. It is the reassurance of God's care, concern for you. The things that occur in your life, say, I didn't know. You say, I didn't know you love me this much.
This God loves me.
So from time to time, you must reassure your spouse. And one of the easiest ways, apart from actions, is words. Just talk about it. I feel so good about you. You make me happy. Things like that will make the person feel so important in your life. And it will help how they react to you, how you respond. It will assure them. This is how, I think we talked about this one time. This is how players play. The guys we call players. The ones that, have 2 million girlfriends. That's how they do. They make everyone feel as if she's the only one. And how they're able to do it. How they're able to do it is by reassuring you individually. You are the one for me.
Wow.
There's no one else.
Hey.
Whereas he's saying the same thing to Funke, to Adiola. He said it to Bimbo.
Why are they Yoruba girls?
Because Yoruba boys are Yoruba demons. I'm joking though. I'm joking though. But basically, just tell them a lot. Tell them about how you feel. Can I tell you something? One of the things I've learned in my life, this short time I've lived on earth, dating and then being married to my wife. If you don't assure them, I tell you, there's one idiot that will be hanging around to form superhero for your spouse. They'll be telling them those things.
Yeah.
For your girlfriend, they'll be telling them those things. They won't even tell them clearly as if they want to date them.
Yeah.
They'll tell them in casual conversation. Say, wow, you make me happy.
Yeah.
You're such a nice person. Guess
I
what? The
love
person
being
is
around you.
drawn to them. People are attracted to where they're appreciated. So the person is drawn to them, and it's they start looking at you. Say, this one.
You have taken me for granted.
This one's not even doesn't even a caring person, doesn't like me. Haven't you heard girls that with very rich guys? Forget to sometimes when they get the money, it's not enough.
Yeah.
And I say, doesn't even care about me. Doesn't even tell me sweet things. So my guy or lady,
My girl.
you need to do more to express your emotions to the person you're with.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I know that there are people that don't necessarily like it. When you do it too much, in fact, they start suspecting you. But start gradually. Just make them know how valuable they are to you. And
Yeah, and it's important for you to not do this recent dating hack where everybody is wanting to be wise for the other person, so you don't want to put your eggs in one basket, so you don't want to say how you feel concerning your partner. It's foolishness. It's affecting your own relationship. Speak about how you feel. If the person makes you happy, say you make me so happy. If you love spending time with the person, say I love spending time with you. I love being around you. There's nothing bad in it. Pride doesn't have rank. If you say those things, doesn't remove one star from your shoulder. So just say it. It's for your own good. It will help your relationship. It is very, 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 very important. Speak about it. I think this morning we're in the room and it's simple things. I did something, my husband did something, and we're so
What is something?
PG married. It's not like he just said something. It is. I cannot say it here. He said something, and I was like, "Oh, that's good. That's good." So it's important for a relationship. Don't feel like the person will take me for granted if I say it. No. If that's how you feel, say it.
Then you're not in the right relationship.
Exactly. If that's how you feel it, feel free to say it. If that's how you feel it, feel free to say it. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Pride does not have that. But that's amazing. That's amazing, and we thank you so much for. Before we go, I just want us to take an opportunity to pray for you. Whatever faith you belong to, whatever it is, we'll pray for you. Wherever you are, whatever you believe in, we just want to pray for you. And I hope you don't mind. We'll pray for you that you have a beautiful relationship, that everything in your relationship will thrive. And if you're watching this when it was uploaded, that is January 2021, then I will pray for you that you have a great year and a great relationship this year. Father, we thank you for everyone that is watching. Thank you for your daughter. We thank you for your son that is watching us now.
Yes, Lord.
We thank you because they trust you for a beautiful relationship. That is why they're watching this video. We thank you, Lord, in heaven, because you would intervene in their relationship. Where it was lacking, it becomes better. Even if it is strong, it becomes stronger. There is wisdom for them to thrive in their relationships. And your power is revealed through them. If the person watching is single and yet to find one, Lord, you would order their steps to meet the right person for them. In this new year, they will experience better things than they ever have. In the mighty name of Jesus, we have prayed.
Amen.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Do not forget to subscribe, like, share, tell your friends, tell your family, your enemies. Get everyone involved. Comment your reservation, reserve your convention.
Sort of.
Well, whatever the case may be, just let us know what you feel about the video, and we'll be so glad to hear from you. And keep your faith up. This year is going to be a good year for your relationship. We love you guys.
Take care. Bye.